Good morning, Pioneers, and welcome to The Grit. We are excited to be back here with another sports update for you. My name is Jake Barnhart.
My name is Bobby Drexel.
And my name is Kayla Delmore. Today we'll recap all the sports from this past week and talk about March Madness.
Girls lacrosse beat Gahanna 11-10 on Tuesday, and Jordan Sullivan scored 5 goals. Last night, they beat Westerville Central 15-11, and Jordan Sullivan had another 5-goal performance. On the boys' side, they lost to Berlin 5-4 in overtime. Blake Beasold had a goal, Zach Arslane had 2, and Aiden Anna added another.
Boys volleyball swept Bradley last night in 3 sets to rack up their first conference win. Looking on to the weekend, track will host Gahanna Invitational, and boys lacrosse will also host Kenston at 1 p.m. So, now that we've talked all about Orange sports, let's get into some March Madness. Kayla and Bobby, how are the brackets now?
Well, mine is the best, I believe, out of us three, because I still have my championship of Bama and Houston still alive, even though Purdue and UCLA lost. But, Bobby, how's yours?
Last night actually took a massive hit to my bracket. I lost both Michigan State and UCLA, who I had in my national title, so that one hurt me pretty bad. But
Yeah, it hurts to say I have the worst one now out of both of you after I, made fun of you last week, Kayla. Round of 32 just really hurt my bracket. I had Iowa State going to the Sweet 16. No, I had them going to the Elite 8. So, they lost first round to Pitt, and that just was not good for me from there. So, it's pretty bad to say the least. But, I also had Indiana beating Miami. Just things like that were frustrating to watch.
Yeah, that 41-point performance there by Iowa State was tough to watch. I mean, they couldn't get anything going early on. They were down like 15 points, like 5 minutes into the game. They just couldn't get a shot to fall, and then Pitt advanced. I really thought that they would have a chance to take down Xavier in an upset, and they put up a fight, but Xavier was just
They almost came back. They did almost come back, and then Xavier kind of just crept away at the end. But Pitt put up a pretty good fight. And, Miami, they also looked really good against Indiana. They blew them out of the water. Towards the end of the game, it wasn't even close. But Miami's looking like a real contender. I think they're going to put up a pretty good fight against Houston in this next round. In my opinion, I think totally winnable for them. I don't think beating Houston's out of the equation. I think if Miami's going to win this game, they'll win by 5 or 6 points. But if Houston's going to win this, it'll probably be more than like 12 points if they are able to pull this out.
Hopefully Houston wins just for my bracket. Another really interesting game was the Gonzaga-UCLA game. But right before I submitted my bracket, I had Gonzaga in my Final Four. And then they've never done well for me in the past, so I put UCLA, and now I regret doing that. But
that sucks.
Win some, you lose some.
Yeah. You can't really deny the number one offense in the nation. I had UCLA winning my national title. I really thought that Jaime Jaquez would have been able to pull that out for UCLA, but the number one offense in the nation, it's hard to shut that down. Even with a lead, you just got to always be worried about a comeback. And I saw, scrolling on social media this morning, the game-winning shot was a recreation of the Villanova game winner.
Yep, it was the exact same shot.
Julian Strother pulled up from the logo, and what a shot. 8 seconds to go, and you hit a shot from the logo. That's got to be a killer for UCLA.
Something that I thought went unnoticed yesterday was UConn's 23-point win over Arkansas. And Arkansas obviously is no joke. I mean, they beat Kansas in their last round, and then UConn went out there and just absolutely dismantled Arkansas. I think they can make the Final Four.
Final Four, you see them beating Gonzaga?
100%. I mean, they have a lot of size, and they shoot pretty well to go along with the size. And then Gonzaga's pretty similar. They have size in Drew Timme, and he played great last night. But I think he's going to struggle when he goes against some of those bigger players who are able to switch on to him and match up with him more physically.
I feel like another interesting thing is FAU beating Tennessee last night, now in the Elite Eight. Definitely kind of the dark horse right now, only a 9 seed, but they took down FDU last round, and then just took down number 4 Tennessee. So definitely a team to watch out for. They will take on Kansas State. That should be a great game, in my opinion.
I went and watched the FAU Memphis game in person because they were here in Columbus, and watching FAU play, they were just such a balanced team. I really feel like that 7-footer in the paint gives them size, but they also have people that can spread the floor and knock down open shots, which can make them a lethal team. I think the Kansas State FAU game is going to be a close one just because I don't think Kansas State is as deep as FAU is. Last night, Kansas State only ran a 7-man rotation until one of their players fouled out. They had one guy come in for 2 minutes, but a 7-man rotation, you're going to get tired easily. I think K-State won't be able to maintain that through the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I kind of understand that, but when you're able to score 94 points in the game with a 7-man rotation, I don't think it matters too much when you have that many dynamic scorers on your team. Marquise Noel is a great player, and he set the all-time record for assists in a March Madness game last night with 19. I think it's your Sparty. But other than that, I think that FAU, just like you said, the way they score and the way they spread the floor is definitely something to watch. They have something to play for. I feel like they've had a chip on their shoulder the whole March Madness tournament. Everyone's counting them out almost every single game. They just keep on winning. So it's been impressive to see them play well.
So looking at today, we have San Diego State, Alabama, Miami, Houston, Princeton, Creighton, and Xavier, Texas. Who are your guys' winners for these 4 games?
I like Creighton a lot. Princeton's great as well, but I think Creighton's very similar to Princeton, but just a little bit better. They spread the floor and they have big guys that shoot just like Princeton does. I just think that they're just a little bit more well-rounded than Princeton is, so I think that gives them a little bit of an edge. Yeah,
in contrast, I really think that Princeton's going to pull this game out. I think that they have a chip on their shoulder. I think they're going to keep dancing. I think that they are probably the hottest team left in the tournament, and if they're able to knock down their threes like they have been so far in their first 2 games, that they're going to be a problem for Creighton, and Creighton might panic to a 15 seed.
Yeah, you are very right. I think it's a toss-up game, honestly. I like both teams a lot. I don't know. I just feel like just right now Creighton's playing well. The only thing with Princeton is just, like you said, if they go cold, it's tough for them to hang around. They were cold against Arizona, though, and they still won. So, who knows? It's March.
So do you guys see Bama beating San Diego State here, no problem, or do you think it's also another close
It'll be
game?
tough. This will be a tough game. San Diego State plays really well defensively, and they have good size, and they're really athletic, and they switch around a lot. I think Alabama will definitely have a tough time trying to score on defense like that.
I think San Diego State really does play some sound basketball, like you said, but the offense that Alabama brings with Brandon Miller, I really think that San Diego State's not going to be able to slow that down. And if Alabama's going to be able to play at the pace of play that they want to, and they're able to control the pace of this game, I think it's not going to be close.
Yeah, in San Diego State, I've watched their 2 games so far in the tournament, and they play really slow basketball, and they don't shoot a lot of threes, and a lot of their stuff comes from floaters and kind of forced shots. But other than that, nothing really overwhelms me with their scoring. So I don't see them putting up a lot of points on Alabama. And Alabama plays pretty suffocating defense. They press. They're good at shot blocking. Basically everything. I feel like that's kind of kryptonite for San Diego State to go against people who are similar in size to them, because they rotate those 2 big guys, the 2 7-footers, in and out. And if they were going against Brandon Miller and then their other center, Alabama, what are they going to be able to do?
And building off of that, I don't think San Diego State has yet been challenged so far in this tournament. Round 1, they played Charleston. I think Charleston was a great team. I think that they really could have made a Sweet 16 run if they beat San Diego State. But then they also played Furman, and I think Furman just didn't propose a challenge. They just haven't seen anything like Bama's going to bring to the tournament here. So they haven't played anything like Alabama in a couple weeks. I think Alabama's just going to be too overwhelming.
How are you guys feeling about Texas and Xavier tonight?
I have Texas winning this game. I actually have Texas in my Elite 8, so I have them losing to Houston. But Texas plays really good. Like Marcus Carr is one of the best players in the nation. He's one of the best players left in the tournament. And I really think if he can take over the game like he has been just all year, it's going to be a close game, but I think Texas will be able to close it out.
Yeah, I also think it will be close. I do have Texas winning as well. I don't really know too much about Xavier. Mainly, I didn't really I kind of overlooked them when making my bracket. But I definitely think it will be close. Right now, Texas is a 4-point favorite, but I mean, both these teams, their records are virtually the same almost. And I think it's a toss-up. I mean, anything can happen in March. And just like we said earlier, some days you're cold, some days you're hot. So it'll be a good game.
All right, that's all we have for today, Pioneers. Thank you for tuning in to another week of The Grit. My name is Shake Barnhart.
I'm Bobby Drexel.
And I'm Kayla Delmore, and we can't wait to see you after spring break.